Welcome back, YouTubers, to our Turning Point Predictions video with me, Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me, part of the British Fist, whose name is NJ.
What's up?
Clap, clap, clappity clap, subscribe above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have going into TNA Turning Point 2012 in that comment section below.
And make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
What's all that about?
It was just my mouth talking.
Your mouth? You have a second mouth?
Oh, yes, I do.
I can't even do ventriloquism, it doesn't matter. But anyway, we're going into Turning Point now, TNA's first pay-per-view after Bound for Glory, the turning point, so to speak.
The thing I want to say about this pay-per-view straight away is that when I've told people that we have a pay-per-view this Sunday, they're surprised. They haven't really, yes, they've been building it up slowly, but it's only been really properly announced. The go-home show more. And then obviously people were surprised that it was Turning Point this week.
I think the issue is that the last 2 weeks they had to announce a lot of matches, and that's probably why. And do you know what I mean? I think that's the main problem with this pay-per-view. It's like you had the open fight night. There seems to be a lot of concentration on the TV show, which has generally been TNA's way of doing business. I'm not necessarily for that way of doing business, but they've had a lot of TV concepts like Open Fight Night, Champions Thursday, and it kind of does take the shine off the pay-per-views a little bit, doesn't it? I mean,
it feels that way because yes, they've tried to bring up two concepts, but in my opinion, it worked better with just one.
Oh,
that gives them the extra other weeks to concentrate on what's needed. Trying to do two special things didn't really work out, but I will say this: the go-home show really made the pay-per-view big enough to watch.
So do you think this was another example of TNA maybe trying to do a little bit too much in terms of Champions Thursday and Open Fight Night and Gut Check? Do you think they should all just do that in one night?
I think it would be more convenient because obviously then they have one special night a month before the pay-per-view, and the rest of the weeks are built up for the pay-per-view.
I must admit, the go-home show was a very good go-home show, and it did really make me look forward to this pay-per-view. I can understand why people may not realise there is a pay-per-view because of the way they do seem to concentrate on their TV show a lot more on the pay-per-view, but we know there's a pay-per-view. What are your general thoughts going into this pay-per-view Turning Point, the pay-per-view following Bound for Glory, their biggest one of the year?
Not many of these matches, let's say, have been built up in a way, like, from the very beginning, since the last pay-per-view, I was like, right, I'm looking forward to this match. Some of these matches came almost last minute kind of feeling.
They did a lot on free TV. They did a lot of rematches on free TV, didn't they? Which was a bit strange. And they've changed their matches a little bit now. They've like done AJ, James Storm, Bobby Roode rather than maybe the James Storm, Bobby Roode rematch. They've done a couple of Aces and Eights matches in there. And it's quite refreshing actually to see. You've got two Aces and Eights matches, so they're actually trying to make the Aces and Eights part of the pay-per-view, which is at least a point.
My main problem was just some of these matches we're going to get to were either announced on the go-home show or the week before the go-home show, so you didn't really get enough build going up to it. But I will say this, the matches that were announced at the go-home show and stuff, I am looking forward to. Yeah,
and I'll give most of my thoughts during the matches. We'll start off with Tara and Jesse Goddard versus ODB and Eric Young. I've heard that Eric Young is not going to be, his contract is up in TNA soon, so whether or not this is like the last hurrah for him or whether or not he's actually going to turn up, we don't really know, but by the looks of it, it doesn't look like the Knockouts title is on the line.
The best way to do this match is have probably Eric Young not turn up, then it to become a singles match between ODB and Tara, and then probably the following night you have the whole breakup of ODB and Eric Young. That means Eric Young leaves and does whatever he's going to do, and then just have this match like normal, because I really don't think Eric Young should stick around anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this has had pretty decent... I mean, they've been building this ever since Jesse Goddard came into TNA, and I guess my only issue is Tara and ODB, it just doesn't feel like the best female feud. I mean, it's just... They're both two very good talents, but Tara's, lately, her character's been really not enhanced very well by the addition of Jesse Goddard, and I don't think the ODB and Tara dynamic is really there like a Miss Tesh Knockout and Tara would have been.
When I started watching TNA, I will say this, ODB, especially when she had these like street fights, backstage brawls and stuff, she was a knockout I was going to look out for. Then she went into the tag thing, which really pulled her back loads of steps. So this match would have been better if Tara's booking without her boyfriend would have been better, and if ODB won in this tag team. But overall, the way I'm going to say this match is, I think it's going to be a Tara win.
I think at this point you probably have to... I mean, the title isn't on the line, which kind of implies that ODB might be winning. But they really need to give Tara and Jesse a win here, in my opinion, because ever since they've given Tara that Hollywood boyfriend, her booking has been freaking awful, isn't it?
Yeah, but the only difference is I'm going to stick with Tara, but if Eric Young's there, I think Eric Young might save the match for ODB, or may not even turn up and leave it to Tara to win.
Maybe a way of returning him, but we'll move on to the next match. Rob Van Dam versus Joey Ryan for the TNA X Division Championship. Another rematch between Rob Van Dam and Zema Iron was done on Free TV, but I'm glad that they're putting a guy like Joey Ryan in the spotlight, because I think one thing I was kind of scared about the Joey Ryan character is that they weren't going to follow up with it, but at least they've, even though Matt Morgan has taken most of the spotlight away from Joey Ryan, and probably rightfully so, really, they're at least putting him in an X Division Championship feud with a Rob Van Dam, and it's had a little bit of build to it.
Some people have noticed, as much as Joey Ryan is a catchy character, the fact he's only recently got his contract and he's already in an X Division title feud, and I don't think he won the contendership, did he?
No, I think what happened is he just beat the fuck out of RVD, I guess.
And got this match, but okay, that's fine. And the thing I want to say about this match is that I'm looking forward to it, but we all know Rob Van Dam's booking, so it's going to be quite heavy on the newcomer, Joey Ryan.
I do see Rob Van Dam winning. I don't see Joey Ryan going over here at all. Whether or not they have Matt Morgan interfere or have Joey Ryan win by DQ or something, I don't really know. It just depends on what they want to do with this feud and what they want to do with Matt Morgan long term. Samoa Joe versus Magnus and a no disqualification match for the TNA TV Championship, the Television Championship, sorry. You know, for the first 2 weeks after Bound for Glory, Magnus lost and didn't appear on TV. And then all of a sudden, he hits Joe over a wrench. They have that 6-man tag, which is really good. Again, I really want to be looking forward to this match a little bit more, especially with it being a no DQ match, which I imagine Samoa Joe will go over because that's what is, you know, essentially designed for the babyfaces to win these kind of matches.
Well, the thing about this match is that this match is starting to get more build than the last match, so I'm going to give it credit for that. But I think the reason it's a stipulation match, I think this might be the time to give Magnus the win, because he can use weapons, he can actually do stuff to beat Joe down. So I think because of the stipulation, not just because of the wrestler's performance, I think because of the stipulation, Magnus might get this. Yeah,
with me, the stipulation kind of means they're going to end this feud, and generally the babyface should go over when they end the feud, which is why I think Samoa Joe will get the win here. Just my personal opinion there. We'll discuss the Aces and Eights stuff now. Announced on the Go-Home show, Director of Chaos, with Luke Gallows, versus Joseph Park. Now, Joseph Park wanted this match. Hogan gave it to him. You had Bully Ray coming out and saying he had heart and everything like that. So, I think this match, I don't really think people should see it as a match. It's more of an angle. I mean, anything with Joseph Parkin, it's not really going to be a wrestling match. But be interesting to see the dynamic between this massive Ace and H dude and a Joseph Park character that's very stuttery.
Well, I think they've done this match okay. Yes, it came out of nowhere, but Joseph Parks has been asking for involvement with the Ace and Eights for the last few weeks. So for them to give him this match was a nice spot. DOC, I don't know why they give him such a powerful name to Luke Gallows instead of like the leader or a bigger name, but there we go. And I'm looking at this match thinking, right, you've got Luke Gallows, who needs to be looking like a strong member, and the Ace and Eights to have a big win at the pay-per-view. But you've also got Joseph Parks, who's trying to defend TNA, trying to prove that he can take on a Ace and Eights member and become a good wrestler for the show. So you've got balance which one's more likely going to win.
Yeah, I really wouldn't, and especially after they've just unmatched Luke Gallows, I think they have to make him win here against the Joseph Park. I really can't see any other result. They have to, especially after what he did to Sting, they have to back that up with a win over Joseph Park, surely.
Unless Joseph Park is actually a part of the Ace and Eights, which is a small little thing, so he might not actually do much in this. But I do think if he's not part of the Ace and Eights, I say Luke Gallows has got to win in a dominant way over Joseph Park.
Dun, dun, dun. Devon versus Kurt Angle. Before we go on this, I just want to say, do you feel like the Aces and Eights matches are a little bit underwhelming? I mean, in the sense that this is a massive angle, but there doesn't really seem to be that much for them to do at pay-per-views. I mean, they have matches, but they don't have to be part of them. They're not contracted to TNA. Just for me personally, these two matches on the pay-per-view, just seem a little bit underwhelming personally for me in terms of how big this angle really is.
Well, what I'm going to say is that they've done quite well with the Ace and Eights. They've won their contract. They are part of the TNA roster now, so they've got their contracts. They're a part of the show. The thing I want to say about this now is that Angle, yes, he kind of came out of nowhere because I saw a possible AJ and Angle thing going on when they broke from their tag team, but they've moved Angle away. They put Angle into the Ace and Eights kind of feud when it was actually Buddy Ray, Sting and Hogan's thing at the time. So it's came out of nowhere, but I think they are trying to obviously have the most bigger matches as they can. Like they've got Joseph Parks in the match, Angle in the match, Buddy Ray later in the match. They've got a lot going on here.
Little thing here that I've just thought of. Don't you think that the Aces and Eights have kind of been hindered ever since they have been brought into, ever since they won their freedom of the Impact Zone? Because it seems like ever since they won the freedom of the Impact Zone, they could have come in whenever they liked anyway, and now they have to wrestle matches. So it seems like them winning the freedom of the Impact Zone is kind of hindered them a little bit? Because even though it was really needed, because they did need to get some wrestling matches.
I think more likely the Rome of the TNA arena was more saying, right, we're going to give you contracts, you're now professional wrestlers within our company. And I think to be honest, them able to do what they're doing, getting wrestling matches, Rome and thing, is a good thing. So eventually, they're all going to be revealed, and the direction's going to move on. So
Devon versus Kurt Angle. This is all done because the Aces and Eights attacked Kurt Angle at the end of the TNA Impact Wrestling show a week ago. I think it was 10 days ago. I mean, this will be a pretty decent match. A bit underwhelming. Devon in a big match against Kurt Angle. But
at this point, yes, Devon's got the Ace and Eights behind him now, but Devon versus Angle, I really can't see any other way, apart from the Ace and Eights probably interrupting this match, because it's not going to be a clean match, especially with Devon, who's not really a main eventer. I think Angle may pick up the win somehow.
Yeah, I do see the Aces and Eights interfering in this, especially as they have free roam of the Impact Arena. So I guess the Aces and Eights are going to interfere in this, and that's going to continue the angle going forward. Maybe we'll get a reveal. Who really knows? At this point in time, they may as well do some more reveals.
At Turning Point, the Ace and Eights will reign supreme over TNA. So beware, worthless mortals. See you Sunday.
So next we have the Tag Team Championship match between the World Tag Team Champions of the World, Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, without their belts, against Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. You know, ever since Chavo and Hernandez won those belts at Bound for Glory, and they've been in a feud with Daniels and Kaz, it's just, you can't help but feel that they give the belts to the wrong guys, because Daniels, especially Daniels lately, has been golden, and Kazarian, like, you know, obviously has been doing his part, but Daniels and Kazarian are just a class above those two, really, aren't they?
That's true, because Christopher Daniels being a main eventer, and Kazarian, bless him, he's trying his best for the tag team itself. With the other two, Chavo, he's new to the company, so I guess TNA are going to do what they can to give him a warm feeling, which is the tag titles. His partner Hernandez, I guess he's a good member of his tag team. But I think obviously Kazarian and Daniels, because of who they are and the fact they can draw a lot of heel heat, obviously the main focus of the tag team division at the moment.
Yeah, and to be honest, I see this as nothing else other than Chavo and Hernandez retaining. I don't really see Daniels and Kazarian winning here, even though I think that they really should, but I don't really see them. I don't really see the World Tag Team Champions of the world regaining the belts here.
I personally want to see Kazarian and Daniels form a bigger thing than in the tag team. I think, again, holding Daniels back in the tag team is a good thing for the tag team division, but there could be more from this. But I agree that Chavo and Hernandez will pick up the win. To face who next, don't know, but that's how they'll retain.
First time since Destination X 2011 that Daniels and AJ haven't been involved in some kind of match or feud. So we'll hope that continues going forward, people. What I imagine will be the semi-main event is AJ Styles versus James Storm versus Bobby Roode. This is a three-way match to determine the number one contender for the TNA World Championship. I'm guessing going into final resolution. The guy that gets pinned... But the guy who gets pinned will not receive another TNA World Championship match until Bound for Glory 2013, as said by Hogan himself. You know, you got James Storm and Roode there. I mean, that was a feud. They've added AJ Styles there for a number one contendership. Yes, this was built up a little bit strange, but they have built it up in a somewhat logical. They've managed to get heat between Styles and Storm. Storm and Bobby Roode. Obviously, Styles and Roode had heat anyway, so at the end of the day, they made something good out of something that I was a bit confused about to start off with.
Well, they've teased at the minute that Storm and Roode are probably going to end up continuing their feud a bit. Obviously, they had a different idea now. That's what they've added AJ to this. And I think AJ, with the great performer he is, yes, I thought it was going to be AJ and Angle, but now he's in the title kind of picture. This match is quite big, triple threat more than a singles match, so I am looking forward to this. The stipulation, I think, maybe Hogan's way to rub it in on Roode if Roode's going to lose this, and it's going to be more concentration on Storm and AJ.
As for who is going to win, though, I'm really not sure. I would have thought James Storm may win this, but at the same time, at the beginning of Jeff Hardy's title reign, you really want to put him against as many heels as you possibly can, and even though they faced off at Genesis last year, it is kind of a refreshing match, Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Roode. So, I personally, don't know who's going to win this. I really don't. I would say Storm, but I keep thinking Bobby Roode might win it.
if they're not going to do the AJ and Angle, I think AJ needs something to do, and AJ and Angle or AJ and Aries would be a quite entertaining match and continue the Storm and Rude feud if they are going to do that. So it's at the moment I'm leaning towards AJ, so the Rude and Storm could continue. But if TNA want to finish that, I'd say Storm.
Who's going to not get the championship shot until Bound for Glory 2013? I mean, is it going to be AJ? Is it going to be Rude? I don't think it's going to be Storm. I really think they're going to try and give Storm some kind of title run in 2013. But at least TNA here saying, right, this is going to be our #1 contender. The winner of the main event is going to be the champion. So, you know, we're going to make sure we have a match done already set to final resolution, which is a good thing in my opinion. Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries. This is our main event. The main event for Bound for Glory. Now they're having their rematch after Jeff Hardy won the belt at Bound for Glory. This is a ladder match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, so I'm guessing, because they have a #1 contendership match there, I think it's very obvious that Jeff Hardy is going to win this, and they're going to pretend they're going to end the feud between Jeff Hardy and Austin Aries in this rematch, and that allows Jeff Hardy to keep going with the belt, and then Austin Aries will probably be put in a upper mid card feud. I would have thought you can't put him down the card too much after his title run.
Well, the fact that the second match has 2 faces, 1 heel, and the one we were talking about, it just depends on who wins that. Because when it comes to that, unless they're going to have 2 faces against each other, it is leaning towards obviously Jeff Hardy retaining. So I'm going to say Jeff Hardy, even though I wouldn't mind seeing Aries champion again versus AJ, like we predicted for the Bound for Glory thing. So I say Jeff Hardy, even though the way they set this up, especially on the Go Home show, gave me a great feeling on Aries' side.
Austin Aries has done really well in this feud on the mic. Jeff Hardy obviously is very over with the crowd, even though he wasn't over in at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. But I expect another good match between these two. Probably better than their Bound for Glory matches there is the added ladder match stipulation. But I definitely think Jeff Hardy is going over. And I do think if Austin Aries loses this, could they put him in a feud maybe with AJ Styles?
Like I said, I'm really confused where they're going to go with AJ Angle, but I think if Aries is going to stay as a main eventer, he needs to stay up against the best in the company, which would be AJ.
So Jeff Hardy retaining, I think it's pretty predictable, really.
It all depends on, like they said, the normal contendership. I would love to see AJ and Aries for the title or non-title, but either way, Jeff Hardy could probably retain.
Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy versus James Storm, or Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Roode. They're all pretty good matches, aren't they? Let's face it.
So the way they've set this up, I still don't agree with having no more contenders on pay-per-views when there's a title match. Obviously, it makes it a bit predictable, as we've seen in past cases. But with these main event matches that we just listed here, they're pretty solid and pretty good.
Yeah, so Turning Point has the potential to be a good pay-per-view, I think. But yeah, I mean, I'm sort of looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it as much as I mean, let's put it, it's much better than last. Remember last year's when they threw it all under the bus to get the title onto Bobby Roode off James Storm for 2 weeks, and they kind of fucked it up that way. We've not got much more of that. It's a bit more of a stable build this time, even though, like you said, the pay-per-view hasn't been had great build, but it still looks okay to me.
That's what I was going to say. Even though the build's not been as full 4 weeks as it could have been, the matches we've got are matches that I'm saying I'm looking forward to this, I'm looking forward to this. They're pretty good matches. The stipulations have helped some of the feuds and matches, so I'm going to say that this pay-per-view could come out quite good.
Yep, so make sure you watch our review this Sunday, of course, of TNA Turning Point 2012, and get any thoughts and comments you have going into TNA Turning Point 2012 in that comment section below. And as you guys know, I'm Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me is going to be doing the outro. I don't know why I announced this, because everyone knows you do it anyway, NJ.
What's up? Thank you very much for people for watching. This has been a predictions video of what happened. Share your predictions in the comments below. And thank you very much for watching. And until next time, YouTubers and friends, goodbye.